Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today we'll be doing what if Naruto was in Highschool DxD. Yeah. Sorry for the pause there. So I know some of you have some questions for me that you asked me, that both for the One Piece one and for the One Piece and for this one. If you don't want these two, if you don't want to hear it, just skip forward. But for the first one, in saying that hallway did he, for the One Piece one about Itachi, Hallway said that he would have all the that and so and so's powers, Uchiha's powers. That's still going to happen, but I remember that snake. Yeah, that was Itachi's powers. I'll explain it later, but I didn't want to explain it at the same time the snake was introduced because that would just break the vibe. But yeah, and for the one with Kushina, where people ask me like, make her come back in reincarnation, blah blah blah, and yes, she will be coming back. That was the entire plan. So you guys really thought I would have came with a whole new shit that I've never done before, and not give it only one scene, bro. I thought you guys liked me better than that, but like, I guess not. But Jesus. So let's just get into the video. So remember, I left off at Naruto going to the Highschool DxD University School, but I'm gonna flash back a few years before this. So we see Naruto looking at his father's dead body, crying and just in distraught. Like, what do you expect him to feel? His father just died in front of his eyes. What are you supposed to feel? Pain, regret, sadness? He doesn't know. But something started happening with his father's body. It started to break apart. Well, his face did, until it just fully cracked, and out came a spew of blood that ran towards Naruto. Naruto tried dodging, but eventually it caught up to him and started attaching itself to him until Lucifer's whole body just started to compact into Naruto's. I feel like this is too loud. I feel like this is too loud. Alright. Started to compact into Naruto's, making their bodies fuse. But this was no easy process. Naruto started to writhe in anger, and not anger, in agony. Because what the blood was doing, right? It wasn't just slowly going into body, and it was forcing itself through all of Naruto's open holes. So that includes his genital area, his ears, his mouth, every place, every pore in his body. It is going through it and forcing that to open if it's not big enough. So it finishes, but there's like holes in Naruto's body, like on his cheek and on his chest and all over his. But it's a pretty disgusting sight. But Naruto knows he needs to get to the bathroom quickly before this starts to get way worse. Naruto stumbles to get on his feet and go to the bathroom, and he lays in the water, turning on the hot water because that's the best for him to do right now, and is slowly begins to relieve the pain. Naruto starts to relax until he feels a tug in his mind, but it's not the QB. It couldn't be, but what was it? Naruto felt more into the tug and tug it back, and the tug started to get harder and harder and harder. Don't take that wrong way. The tug just got harder and harder and harder, And Naruto started pulling again and again and again until he finally opened his eyes and he realized the water wasn't in the tub anymore. He looked up and he saw the blood-filled water in the sky. And he muttered these words. Thanks, Dad. That's it. So, we cut back to present time. We cut back to present time with we seeing Naruto at the Highschool DxD school saying hi to his class. The teacher asks the class if they have any questions for Naruto. Oh, and because of Lucifer blood fusing with Naruto's blood, that's why he kind of looks like Mikey with all the alteration blood and things. I just felt like I should have cleared that up. Back to the what if. So Naruto said, "I'll be glad to answer any question you have," with a goofy smile, or with a smile, not a goofy smile, just a smile, and with it and his eyes closed. This made most of the girls in the class blush at Naruto's cute but handsome figure. But they also did notice that Naruto was a little short for his age. But who cares? It makes him look even more attractive and cute, no matter. But don't get it twisted. Naruto is not as short as Issei. And if you don't know, Issei is kind of short. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, Issei is kind of short. But he's not short. But he is moderately taller than Issei. So some people ask some general questions like, where did you come from, blah blah blah, until the serious questions start getting answered. And some people start asking, are you in a relationship? And Naruto says no, and I'm not all that sure I'm looking to be in one. And another guy says, are you a virgin? And Naruto says he was going to say no, but then he realized technically, then to the matter, he is, because he's not all that sure if this is his real body. And why do you say this? Because Naruto, when he came to this world, his body was completely different than how it normally was. It was set back, and his body was like the peak pinnacle. So he doesn't really know, and plus his body has changed so much, and he knew throughout his life he had never looked like this before. And his body just changed so much, so he doesn't know 100% if it's his body. So technically, by all terminology, he's not a virgin. He's a virgin. not anymore if I can help it. Anyways, so Naruto just says that I am, and a girl kind of gets a perverted smile on her face until wiping it away. And a few boys didn't like this in class. Like, Naruto's gaining instant popularity with the girls without even trying, and they had to build a reputation for years to get even a girl to talk to them. And this guy, this short ass nigga, comes in, takes the bitches, and just dips. Like, anyways, so Naruto says, "Is there any more questions?" And one brave girl asked, "Would you go on a date with me?" And Naruto says no, and he goes to sit down. The girl was kind of distraught because it did take up a lot of confidence to say that, but I know it's a no. Like, I know it's a no. So, and he hasn't really seen her in her true form yet. So, yeah. I can't remember her fucking name. Jesus, I really need to remember these names, bro. I'll just look after her, and I'll just look after her. I'm gonna call her something if it ever comes up, right? So a day goes by, and Naruto had his specific eyes on Issei, because as entering the class, he realized Issei had the secret gear, and in more particular, he has one of the secret gears he has. If you don't know from the previous part, Naruto has two secret, kind of artificial secret gear. Bro, it's stronger than the actual ones, but I'm gonna actually know. Yeah, artificial secret gears. Let's just put it at that. Naruto has two artificial sacred gears, one being the divine divider and the other one being what do you call that? Dragneel or boost? The red dragon emperor gear. I can't remember it. It's not really care. Anyways, he has two of those. Yeah, Naruto's kind of like overpowered, technically. Let's not front on this one. Like Naruto's kind of overpowered, but I digress. So the day goes by, and Naruto was called to the student council's office. And Naruto goes to the student council office and walks in and says hi. And Sona, if you don't know who Sona is, like Sona Shichiri, like she's also in the I don't know how to explain it. If you watch Highschool DxD, you know who she is. Sona Shichiri, and he sees Sona Shichiri. He knows who Sona Shichiri is. Actually, he knows about every devil clan in the devil universe or the devil world, more or less because Satan engraved it into his head. Although he really didn't like learning all that much again, but it was his father, so he just dealt with it. And Naruto sat down in front of Sona and he says, "What do you want?" And she asked if he wants to join the student council. Naruto would ask, "Why would you want me to join the student council, although never knowing me before?" She says, "To put it frankly, you got the highest scores that was ever recorded into this school. And you were homeschooled, no less. And I couldn't, while watching the exams, couldn't see you cheating. So the only deduction is that you're just that smart." And Naruto looks at her and says, "How would you know that? I could have just been an ordinary person." Naruto, cut the bullshit. You not just aced the test. You corrected wording. You rewrote the test better than it was before, and then turned it in a matter of all but 5 minutes. Now tell me how an average person, an average guy, could do that in 5 minutes, even if you were cheating. Naruto sat back and says, "Well, you got me. Although I wasn't really trying to hide the fact, but you got me." She says, "So you would join. So would you..." Sorry for the background noise. Damn. Anyways, would you accept my offer? Naruto says, "Well, let's play a game of chess first, since you have a board over there. I don't remember the decision after." Sona kinda gets puts off by this, or like stumbles a little bit. You'll figure out why. But she says this really weird thing. "Are you ready to take the consequences if you do win?" Which is highly unlikable, but you have a good chance. And Naruto looks at her, kinda confused, but doesn't really care, and goes over to the chessboard. Naruto goes over to the chessboard and they play a game. And in every step, Naruto makes Sona feel like she's winning. Every step she makes, Naruto predicted, without a flaw. Naruto, time after time, made her play the way he wanted her to play. Until it came to the last point. Sona didn't realize what Naruto was doing. So Naruto made Sona take all of his pawns. He got those out of the corners yet. But since he did that, she kind of regarded Naruto not being a noob at chess, so she lowered her guard, which was a fatal mistake. Why do people do that, bro? But she lowered her guard. But what she didn't realize were the were the kings and knights that were just one step away from taking her king. And just like that, in one move, Naruto won the whole thing. With losing all of his pawns, which were the sacrifices, to get the king. And Sona doesn't do the strategy. It's a really weird strategy because Naruto sacrificed all his pawns to reach his end goal, where Sona kept most of her pawns, only dispelling one or two of her pawns to make sure Naruto couldn't move properly. She was dumbstruck by this loss, and then when she looked over it again, she realized he played her like she was an open book, or read her like she was an open book. And she was shocked and impressed. And she says, well, I look like I lost. And she got up saying those weird words again. I hope you're ready to take responsibility. Naruto is just... he doesn't know what to say, but he doesn't really care. He just thinks she's weird. And Naruto goes over... Naruto goes over and goes to head home. Now a few days pass and Naruto goes back to school, but something feels pretty off about today. Especially whenever he's around Issei. Like something feels really off. So he decides to follow Issei. He finds it as a weird thing for him to do, but it's something that's been really bugging him for a while, so he says fuck it, and he follows Issei. Now let's skip to Issei's what the fuck am I saying? Issei's point of view. Anyways, so to Issei's point of view, we see Issei walking home with this girl with black hair and purple eyes. And this girl name is... hold on guys, hold on. Sorry guys, hey, doesn't that bring back some memories? So yeah, Sunday food and all that hostile shit. Anyways, this girl name was Shinobu. Wait, what's her last name? Kojo. Shinobu Kojo. Now Shinobu, to put it lightly, was a sadistic ass motherfucker. Like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. She is sadistic as fuck. But that's only to people that she doesn't like. But if she really likes someone, she will follow this person to the end. Like, she's a ride or die. And I don't know where to waste those. I am infatuated with Himiko Toga enough where, hey, if I get stabbed, but if I fucking, like, hey, I wouldn't mind getting stabbed. But I don't know, the way how sadistic I made her in this what if. Look, I'll sidetrack. How sadistic I made her in this what if appalls me. Like, there's some of the things that she's gonna do in the future, because I planned this around to like where season 5 ended off. That's how I planned it out. I'm most likely not gonna do it, but like, well, I mean like season 5, bro. I'm done with all that bullshit. Anyways, the how sadistic I made her. So let's combine Himiko Toga. Who else? That bitch from Future Diary. Yeah, her. And jumble them together, and you got Shinobu Kocho. That's what she is. But how do I say this, bro, without getting cancelled? She a whole bitch. Like, she a whole bitch who she doesn't like. So what? Let me just break down what was happening through the times where she was going on a date with Issei. So she found out Issei had a secret gear. At first, she was not gonna take the deal to kill him, but she's kind of like Nobara in a sense. Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen. So she judges people on purely on what she sees, and are her guesses at the time. So she saw he was a pervert. Obviously, that's the first thing she noted, and she can't say that she doesn't care or like she doesn't like it, because she's a fallen angel. All they think about is sex. Like, I think you overstated, bro. Like, all they think about is unreaving lust. But I digress, my guy. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to commentate. I can't. No, that's not even the right fucking word. No, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Anyways. So Naruto's following them, and Shinobu turns around and says, "Issei, it's been a good while, but I have one question. Would you die for me?" And Issei is dumbstruck. He doesn't know what to say. Should he say yes? Should he say no? But the simp in him says, of course, say yes. It's not like something's naturally gonna happen. And as he was about to say yes, she spreads her wings and flies up into the air, and she forms a light spear. For the moment I laid eyes on you, Issei, and I judged your character, I didn't like you. But you had a secret gear, so I had to kill you. So, I guess this is farewell. Sayonara. Of course she said that in the most thundery voice, but my ass is a male, so I don't do that bullshit. Anyways, she hurls her hand back, preparing to strike Issei down, basically, with divine judgment. I mean, she was about to strike Issei down. She brought back her hand and flung the spear until she saw a blur. A person in a black shirt with a vest under it, with the straps of the vest being able to see nearby his collarbone, with black pants and white sandals, caught the light spear in his hands and threw it to the ground. He looked up at her and says, "I don't think you want to do that." And Issei is dumbstruck and appalled. He's like, what is going on here? And Naruto looks at Issei and says, no, no, Issei doesn't say that. Fuck. What am I saying? Anyways, that's later. Okay, my throat. Anyways, Issei says, "What are you doing?" to Naruto, not what he originally thought would be Shinobu, and says, and Issei says that she was testing my loyalty and you messed it up. And Naruto looked at Issei, basically giving him like that look like, what the fuck did you just say? And Naruto originally thought that he would have been thankful that his ass didn't get scored by fucking by a fucking light spear, but he was dead wrong. I guess. I guess. Like, that's all I can tell you. And Naruto was decided just to ignore Issei and his entire existence just being there, but he got back to focus on Shinobu. And this is where a red light appeared, and a red circle appeared on the ground, and a female with red hair and pale white skin with green eyes. When looking at her, saw his mother. Well, Naruto saw his mother, but slowly faded into this woman. TTW. This is not Kushina's reincarnation. It's just a person. I'm just saying she looks like her if Naruto was to ever see her. Back to the video. So Naruto sees this girl come out of the portal or magic circle and walks over to Issei, but Issei isn't dead yet, which she was surprised by, but in the end doesn't really care. And she asks Issei to be his pawn, kind of ignoring the fallen angel as right there, and Naruto that is right there. But Naruto doesn't really care, and he makes a light spear of his own and chucks, and I mean like full back throttle, chucks that spear into Shinobu's wings, pinning him down to the ground. Naruto walked over to her, kind of ignoring both of Issei and Rias' existence, and walking over, not Rias, but he acknowledged that Rias was there, but he guessed she was more occupied on making sure her candidate to be her pawn was safe, other than this weird fallen angel and this human. Well, not human. Well, she would think he's a human at this point. So Naruto walks over to her. Naruto walks over to Shinobu, crouching down in front of her. Well, his body is right in on her midsection. Well, he's crouching down from her midsection, so she couldn't kick him in the nuts if she ever tried. So that's why he went into the midsection. And he looks at her with this unreadable expression and asks her why she's doing this. She being lost for words, Naruto realizes he's gonna have to force it out of her, but he doesn't really want to hurt her for some reason. There's this connection between them that he doesn't want to hurt her, but he will do it anyways. It doesn't really matter to him. But Naruto sighs and activates his red Kurama eyes. He still had access to his Kurama eyes, even though Kurama is kinda in a hibernation state. He can't use his powers right now, but he is in a hibernation state. Oh damn, my body's fucked. Anyways, Naruto looks at Shinobu, but Shinobu is not focusing on Naruto in particular. She's focusing on Naruto's eyes, his red beating eyes that demand respect, fear, and when she looks at them, she feels none of those things. All she feels is lust, the drive to just hop on this man and ride him like a merry-go-round. Yeah, you know where this going. Anyways, like I said, ride him like a merry-go-round. And Naruto doesn't realize she's doing this yet. I asked her again in a more commanding, deep voice, "Why are you here?" And she finally snaps out of it and instantly tells him that she was sent to kill Issei because of his sacred gear. Naruto already deduced this and asked her, "Who told you this in this? Who told you to? Who told you to in specifically?" She says, "I don't know. Just this girl. I don't know her name. We don't really talk that much in the Fallen Angel faction. Just listen to orders and complete them, and you can go back to your normal, lustful life." Naruto sighs and says, "Yeah, that makes sense." And he was about to leave until... Hold up. And holds Naruto's arm and says, "I want to serve you." Naruto looks at her like, "What the fuck did you just say?" Like, Naruto's doing that for a lot, for, like, just get used to it. Like, get used to that look in your head. Like, what the fuck? And she kind of blushes on her face and says, "I want to serve you, be with you, have you." And Naruto knows where this is going. Like, he's dealt with Kushina before. He knows that look in her eyes. And Naruto says, I should at least have one parent member. It's gonna be kind of annoying doing everything and myself in that house. Ugh. And Naruto says, "Are you willing to do work?" And she says, "Of course." "Are you willing to follow my every command?" And again, she says, "Of course." "Are you willing to sacrifice everything for me?" And like again, like all the other times, she says, "Of course." And Naruto says, "Well, I have no reason to refuse after all of that, now do I?" "What's your name again?" She says, "Shinobu. Shinobu Kocha." "Do you have any allies, Shinobu?" "I have one, and that's my little sister. Kanae? Kanae." And Naruto says, "Do you want to get her now or later? Because I'm going home now, because I don't really feel like doing stuff." "She'll last out a little bit. She's a big girl. I think she'll have the same idea I would have, but I keep that for myself." Naruto says, "I heard that." And she shuts her mouth. This is kind of a thing with her. When she's trying to keep something in her head, she says it out loud, and it kind of fucks up the whole thing. You'll see it later. I don't have time for it. So Rias left a few hours ago because she thought Issei was hurt, so she's kind of cradling Issei like a baby. Don't get used to that. Yeah, you're gonna find out in a minute. Naruto's the protagonist of this story, nigga. Fuck Issei. I just want to give a disclaimer real quick. I just want to tell you right here, right now, that Issei is not a protagonist of this story. Like, he's not. He's more of a side character antagonist than anything. Or it's that guy you're just supposed to hate. Well, like, supposed to, but for some reason you just tolerate him. Yeah, Issei's gonna be that character. Naruto, if you thought Naruto and Issei was gonna be friends, well, they will share some friendly moments here and there, but I don't know what to tell you, bro. Not about to get in that ass. Rias, he about to lay the pipe. He about to lay that pipe on Rias, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm crazy. So, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. Lock your doors. Get loose tissues. Because you know what time we're on. So Naruto and Shinobu gets home to Naruto's mansion, and Naruto says, "I'll pick a room for you." And Shinobu grabs Naruto's hand again, and she kind of looks down, and she doesn't know why she's doing. She's never been shy about having sex before, because it's something that she does very often to be Pacific. And she's like, but when looking at Naruto, it's like it changes the whole perspective of him. To her, Naruto, she hasn't realized it yet, or her mentality yet, but to her, Naruto's like this divine god, deity, this thing that demands respect. So any show of affection, anything coming from him, it's like a is like a miracle from God. That's how she's gonna view it in the future. So she starts to unbutton her shirt, starting to breathe heavy. Naruto knows exactly where this is going. He's not gonna stop her, because at the end of the day, Naruto is still a man. He's still a person. He might be actually older, like, and than her, which is actually wrong. She's older than him, like by like thousands of years. Well, actually, no. I don't know how old she is. How give Shinobu an age in this one, because I'm not gonna give her original age because or her age in Demon Slayer, because I also don't know that one. But I know she's at least 20. I know she's at least 20. So Naruto, she started unpicking her suit, right? And she exposes her well-developed breast and well-developed, yeah, that pussy. Anyways, and she, like, her pussy's dripping like that. She's wet. So Naruto goes up there because he knows what's about to go down. He's not gonna stop it. He's gonna no. He's more than not gonna stop. He's gonna indulge in it. He hasn't had sex for a while, and he doesn't like the fact that technically he is a virgin. So he goes up to Shinobu and start kissing her. Then slowly comes off of her and goes to her neck. And then he slowly takes his hand and start rubbing her clit, right? And then just fully thrusts his hand into her pussy. Then he stops kissing her neck, and goes up to his ear and starts nibbling on it, not biting it, but nibbling and rubbing his teeth along her ear, and using the other hand and sliding his hand up and down her back. Naruto then stops all of it and just grabs her legs and just lifts her up on. Then Shinobu wraps her legs around Naruto's waist and goes back to kissing him. But Naruto, with his sensory ability, is able to sense through the whole house, so he walks around until he gets to his bedroom, until he places her on the bed, and lifting up her legs and placing them above his shoulders, and just start pile driving her, pushing his dick in and out of her pussy several times while kissing her. He then flips her over and hits her from the back. Like, that's all I can tell you. And Naruto got that work. So he then summons 3 shadow clones, and Shinobu was surprised at first, but slowly started enjoying this time and her decision more and more. She starts jerking off the two clones on her left and right, and starts sucking the dick of the clone directly in front of her. This goes on for hours upon hours until she finally runs out of stamina, because we all know Naruto's a stamina beast. And why she's going on for hours? Well, because she's a fucking fallen angel, bro. What the fuck do you expect? And a fighter, to put it bluntly. So she does that. So the next day passes, and Shinobu is in nothing but a nothing but an apron, and she's cooking Naruto breakfast and all of that. So I skip forward a few days later until Naruto's coming back into his apartment, and Shinobu right behind him. And when entering his apartment, he felt someone in. Well, not his apartment, I mean his mansion. enters and he felt a presence inside of his mansion. Now, when Naruto was older, Satan used to keep up the barrier, but because Naruto also got older, he let Naruto have certain priorities. So he lifted the barrier every once in a while, but it just so happened the day he died was the day he left it open, and Naruto just never closed it right after that. So people are able to teleport in and out of his house as they like, which he wasn't, which he didn't think about before because, well, again, he wasn't really thinking that people would be going into his house, but he was clearly wrong. So he slowly goes up to him because he doesn't know the people, but he does know one person is Sona, but he doesn't know the other two people, so he's on edge. So he walks into the living room, which is just this huge hall, bro. I'm not gonna even describe his house because Lucifer's house, when I get to the point where I have to show you it or describe it to you, you're gonna be fucked up. Like, I mean, just fucked. So Naruto goes and he sees Sona and two other people. These two people being Sona's parent, mother and father, and Tozo's father comes up to Naruto and shakes Naruto's hand, with Naruto just being confused overall. But Shinobu is just there smiling, giving that normal Shinobu smile. And she was just about to kill both of them. Like, don't get it misunderstood. She was about to just murder them outright. But she held back herself because Naruto didn't seem on edge with them. And she knows that Naruto is way stronger than her. Like, just that first encounter showed how much stronger he was than her. But I digress. Naruto looks at Sona and like gives her that look like, what the fuck is going on here? And she's like, I told you, get ready to take responsibility. And Naruto says that damn word again. Why do you keep saying it? And he says it out loud this time. And she says, you beat me in chess. And cut the bullshit, Naruto. I know you're not human. And Naruto says, well, I wasn't really trying to hide it. Then I would just suppress my aura if that was the case. But I never tried. So obviously, if another supernatural, they would know instantaneously that I'm not a human. And she says, well, I did guess that you were doing so, but the plot still matters. Do you know anything about devil history, depending on what your race is? She says that I'm a devil, but yeah. And she asks him if he's a full breed or half breed. And Naruto says, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know who my mother was. I know who my father was, but I'm not ready to share that information yet. But I give you a hint though. My name is Naruto Lucifer Uzumaki. Do what you do with that. But like I was saying, what the fuck is going on here? And she said, and he asks him again, do you know anything about demon history? And Naruto says, yes. And Sona asks him to replay it for me. And he started talking about how the chess pieces were the whole problem with the six devils. The six Satans. I think that's what it's called. I cannot remember, bro. Things are just drawing a blank. Anyways, he starts explaining about that, and then does he remember? And Sona asks, does he remember how the Sona Citrus clan, the Citrus clan does things? And Naruto says, yeah, I do remember it. Beating them in a competition of strategy or intelligence is how you get married. And he finally realized what happened. So Sona and Naruto played a game of chess, which is also a game of strategy and intelligence. Naruto beat her pretty easily, in fact, and Sona became Naruto's Sona became Naruto's what is called that now? Fiance from then on. Obviously, it's gonna take a while to get married, but I'm not there yet, nigga. I'm not there yet. So Naruto knows he fucked up, like, and he knows there's no way to backing out of this, because if he was to wanted to back out of it, he would have to reveal that he's a child of Satan, the son of Satan, and he doesn't want to do that yet. Like, that's something that he doesn't really want to do. So he decides that he's gonna have to bear with it, and he decides and accepts the fact that he's now engaged to Sona. Yeah, it's interesting point, isn't it? So after that whole debacle or whole situation is covered up, they go back to school and everything plays out to normal. So I just want to jump straight into the arc where Asia is introduced, because another person is being introduced, Asia reincarnation also, but it's not Kushina. Just wait, probably in part 3, maybe in part 1, part 2. Who knows, bro? Maybe she's coming in this part, maybe she's not. I'm not saying anything. So Naruto go. What? Naruto goes, and Sona moved into with Naruto a few days ago. She met Shinobu, and she figured out Shinobu is practically Naruto's slave. Well, slave, concubine, however you want to word it. And Naruto, unlike normal, has a special seal. So the seal is that he creates a seal with both magic, with blood magic, Uzumaki seals, and his pure intent and feeling. So whatever he was feeling at the time is the way the seal is going to react. So he made the seal while he was having sex with Shinobu, so the seal became a succubus seal. What a succubus seal does is basically when the person has any thoughts of betrayal or anger towards the caster, the person instantaneously gets so aroused that even if it gets to the point where they mind just snaps, they can't think out of anything other than obeying the master. That's how it works. It's fucked up, yes, but it's obviously not gonna go that far. I'm just giving you the benefit of it, because, well, although it's never gonna be used like that, like, ever, but just telling you. Shit. But yeah, and Sona, one figuring out how that seal worked, was at first put off, but slowly she wanted that seal. So a few weeks pass, and Naruto and Sona are just hanging out in their room. They have talked before, and they have full-on discussions. Like, they have full-on discussions about the relationship. They even started planning the wedding already. They do decide that they're not gonna that they want to take a while until the wedding actually starts. They want to take at least they want a long time, because they know that in just a short span they can't love each other. They're actually interested in each other right now, but you understand. So Naruto is just on it watching TV, and Sona has her head on Naruto's lap, and it's been like this for a few days. They haven't actually kissed ever, to be honest with you, until she just comes out of the blue, because she's a pretty blunt person, and she says, "I want to have that mark, the same mark that Shinobu has." Naruto looks down at her with this surprising face, because Naruto wasn't expecting her to say that. Like, from what he observed of her, she's a very gentle person. When it comes down to it, she's a saint, a devil saint, but a saint nonetheless. So he looks down at her with this confused face, saying like, "What?" And she says, "I'm gonna be your wife one day, and we just need to get used to these things." Obviously, she's making an excuse. She just wanna fuck. Like, that's all it is. And she's kind of mad that Shinobu got the fuck before her. So, digress. So Naruto ultimately just says yes, and they go at it on the chair. And I'm not okay. I'm just gonna do it. So Naruto pushes her down onto the chair and spreads her legs and slowly goes down to her pussy and just starts. He doesn't put his tongue in yet. He doesn't do that. He licks the surfaces around her pussy, then licks the surface of her pussy, up and down, and then finally puts his tongue in. And he can grow his tongue at will by stretching the blood glands in his tongue, so he can make his tongue extremely long. Make his tongue extremely long. That rhymes. Anyways, and they've been going at this for a while until she says she wants it all. And Naruto gets up and takes off his pants, and he basically starts fucking her on the couch. They've been going at this for like a few hours now. The same thing. Stamina, demon, Naruto, stamina. You get the gist by this point. So let's flash back a few years prior. Like a few years after Naruto's dad's death. So Naruto is in his bedroom pondering on what should he do. Lucifer has been dead for a year now, and Naruto's just been lost ever since. He says, "I've always trained to get my mind off of stuff, so I should train." Yeah. When Naruto says, "What am I gonna train on? I mastered all my skills as an adult. What am I gonna do now?" And Naruto realized Kage was called the mother chakra, meaning that any chakra ability derives from her. So he should be able to copy any technique he's ever seen, because they all originated from her. So he goes into a meditative state and goes to his mindscape and taps Grandma's head. Grandma's obviously not awake yet, and he still isn't to this present day, but I digress. Naruto taps Grandma's head and tries to think about what his powers should be. Because he doesn't want to start off getting everything. He wants to go slowly, and he finalizes on something. Demons are more or less specific, personified as evil, and what was evil in his universe? The Akatsuki, and the Akatsuki all had interesting and diverse abilities. So he focused his mind on how he knew the Akatsuki powers worked, and how they acted, and how they interacted with other things. They slowly molded into. So on the outside, a cloud appeared on Naruto's neck, and yeah, it's a tattoo. And that's it. So that's it for the video, guys. That's all I'm gonna do today. Just know, next part, Kushina in a bitch, like Kushina, succubus. You know, we are having fun. So I'm sorry this took out so long to actually come out, and I know it's not gonna come out the exact day. I'm probably gonna make solo leveling, so this might come out actually Tuesday. Or if I'm feeling generous, gonna turn out Monday if I'm generous. But that's it for me, guys. Have a good day. I love you all. See ya.